guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for you today. This is a continuation of my test server content for Metal Part 2, episode 36. We don't currently have a release date for that yet. They've been kind of keeping that hush-hush. Not sure why. Kind of concerning because still there's only been one update for these raids. And in Elite, I'm pretty sure this last boss isn't playable or there's still tuning issues with it. And the second raid, the one I showed you before, into the multiverse, you can't even, that's not, there's so many breaking bugs in that one, it's not even possible in Elite. So this is the regular version. So we'll have to stay tuned to the actual release date, but I do plan on getting a video out for the open world content and some of the weekly missions. I still have to do a video on the new OP item. And then my typical video that I do, basically everything like the mod changes, skill point changes, everything like that. So hopefully we'll kind of see some updates this week. We're kind of right on Wednesday in the middle of the week, so kind of a bit concerning. So hopefully by weekend we can actually do some Elite testing, because that's not that possible as of yet. But not sure if I actually did I mention the name of this raid. I know it's in the title, but this is I believe it's the first of two raids technically, like storyline wise. I'm pretty sure Into the Dark Multiverse, which you saw previously, is actually the second of two raids. This is the first one, Phoenix Cannon, takes place on Thanagar. And the nice thing about this as well is it's new footage as well. Like both raids are new maps. Some there's recycled elements of it, but mostly like entirely new maps, entirely new content. So it's nice. So let's kind of pick this up here. This will be the first boss.
Poor little hawk. You really didn't see this coming, did you?
But you renounced Animar sin. All the good work we've done together. All the glorious battles we shared.
Meaningless. A means to an end.
Don't listen to him. He's trying to play games with your head.
I can't believe you'd still serve that soul-destroying monster.
Serve him? When he learns my alliance with Barbatos gave him a universe of souls to devour, Animar Sin will ask me to rule by his side.
How could you?
You see it now. All roads lead to darkness. Take this gift and embrace that hopeless truth. Don't!
What is... I see it. All roads truly do lead to darkness. Witness the power of Barbatos.
Wasn't that cute, guys? He drew her a picture in the cutscene and gave her a card. And that card had a credit card in it because she bought a time capsule and opened up the Lady Black style. This fight kind of gives off the Gotham City Zoo vibes. You'll see throughout the fight, she does this like Sonic Cry animation, and she'll start to charge. And when she's charging, these various tornadoes will spawn wherever she's charging. So they kind of positioned differently around the rim. In regular, it's not as much. In Elite, it's a very high dot, just like in Gotham City Zoo tornadoes on that second boss there. So she charged, all these world tornadoes spawn. We're still getting hit for 15k in regular, so just imagine what's going to hit for an Elite. And this is, we're at lower gear as well, so that'll be interesting as well. There's a bunch of ads in this fight, so it's going to be a mix between single target and AoE. It's not going to be a pure single target boss fight. And then throughout the fight as well, there's something super annoying right now. You'll see this ad firing this red beam at me. It's called a suppressor, and guess what? I can't hit any powers as a DPS. Super frustrating. It kept happening. I wasn't sure what was going on. I didn't find out till after the fact that that ad, the tank has to pull it and stun it, or the controller has to stun it. Think of it like that one ad in the hallways in Brainiac Battleship, the one that would just like one-shot the group if it got free, so you had to keep it perma-stunned. And you can see here it's permanently suppressing me, which is super annoying, and by halfway through the fight I wanted to punch my monitor, because especially as electric, because the cooldown issues, if I get out of rotation with electric, it takes like 10 seconds to get back into the regular rotation, because then I've got electrocute and electrogenesis off cooldown, and then my rotation looks awkward as shit, and I look like a noob in the video because I have to restart it halfway through. So, for the sake of your DPS, make sure that you are actually pulling that ad and stunning it. Same thing, it's suppressing that healer in the back, and that's why you just yelled tank. So obviously this tank had no idea that he had to pull the ad, and the controller had no idea he had to stun the ad. So just be mindful of that on live server. Once you see that metal Thanagarian suppressor, kill it, stun it, make sure it dies, because that is the most annoying ad since the early game. Actually, I'd want to say that's a little bit more annoying than... actually, no. That's the Omac Prime was a bit annoying, because he actually perma-stunned you. Couldn't actually get out of that. But that's the first boss. Really quick, really straightforward. There's no mechanics per se to it. It's just that you have to watch your tornadoes when you charges. You get that suppressor ad, but it's really a straightforward fight. In Elite, it'll be, I'm assuming it'll be a little bit harder. I've tried it in Elite, but the group didn't really get anywhere. But it's more so just those extra the extra damages. But we'll see how that's tuned. But right now, it's super straightforward fight in regular. And then we go back through the actual tunnels, and the tank's wondering what happened, because I guess he wasn't aware of the healer and DPS is getting permanently suppressed. I mean, I don't mind that mechanic. It's a neat mechanic, but oh my god, it's annoying when it actually hurts you. But yeah, this one seems more like the DPS comp raid, I guess you could say, because the other raid, you have the card maze, which is kind of split things about. The first boss there, when you fight the chicken monster, that's pretty straightforward in terms of single target, but you're going to have spots with the AoE with the Forge Embers, and what happens with them. The last boss, once again, it's like pure AoE check, if you're not getting stunned and everything like that through that. But this one seems more like the straightforward, this is the raid that everyone's going to easily do. Because really, it's just, so far, it's tank and spank. There's some mechanics in the coming up here, as well as the final fight, but so far, they're really straightforward. So all we're doing is just killing the metal Thanagarians. I guess someone could say, because I guess we're in Thanagar, so I guess someone in the comic section, if they know Thanagarian backstory at all. I think the only Thanagarian backstory I know is from the Justice League Unlimited when the Thanagarians invaded Earth. That's pretty much my only experience with Thanagarian culture. So if this looks like Thanagar, then you can say the devs did a great job. If this looks like just like any other hallway and metal room, then I guess they did a poor job. So this is the more mechanic fight here with these ads. You'll see those 3 colors above the door in the back. You have to kill the ads on the corresponding circle to unlock the door. So I think we should have turned that cog at the beginning, because there should be a cog saying, please interrogate the ads, unless we have to kill it, unless we clear it. No, yeah, see, I can see with the comment log. I think we just started DPSing them mindlessly without turning the cog, because it doesn't actually start. So once we turn the door, it'll register that the door won't open unless you get these coded, so we just kind of wasted time here. Someone has to go turn the cog, and then more ads are going to spawn, I believe. I think we just kind of rushed ahead. Yeah, so return the cog. So you'll see bioscan metal Thanagar officers to bypass lock security door. So basically, you just seeing the corresponding colors. It says blue, red. You have to kill those ads on the corresponding circle to be able to progress there. So it's kind of like, if you remember, man, these I'm drawing a blank on these raids when I'm doing these live commentaries. It's one of the old open world operations. Remember, we had to kill the robots that if you didn't pull them into the portals. It's the one where you fighted. Oh my god, I'm just completely drawing a blank. It wasn't Black Dawn. It was the other one from Black Dawn. Like Black Dawn was the open world one where you fought the clowns at the end in Tala. It was the opposite one where you fought Eclipso. That's what it is. You fought Eclipso at the end. So they had that middle part in Metropolis where you had to kill bring the Lantern soldiers to the portal, and you had to kill them there, or they just revived themselves and kept going. And it was super annoying because pugs would DPS them early. It's gonna be the same thing here. If you kill a bunch of ads not on the correct circles, it's just gonna cause more time and waste more time. So just make sure either you can put dots on them or something, but make sure they're not dead by the time you get to the portal, or you're just wasting time. I'm pretty sure what we did there, because they didn't all die in the portal, because that one died at the end, which is probably my fault as well, because hindsight's 20/20 when you're doing the commentaries, but when you're actually in the raid, you just kind of get that mindset where it's like, I just kill everything. I'll just assume I'll kill everything and then work everything out at the end. But, that's the same time where you're a little bit helpless on test server as a DPS, because you can't really control or dictate how the raid goes. It's more as a tank. That's why I like to tank on test server. Because if the tank hasn't got to really figure things out, then, the DPS are just going to continue to kill things. Healers are going to continue to heal stuff. Controllers are just going to sit there and hit buttons. So now that was the red one. So each, as you can see, after we successfully defeat them, it'll turn green. So that's when you know you've unlocked it and open the security door. And then we split again, and this is going to the tunnel leading up to that final boss here. So I'll let this cutscene play out.
Caught up to us, have
We've recalibrated the Thanagarian's weapon to fit our needs.
The Phoenix Cannon will speed up Earth sinking into the dark multiverse.
Relish the fear growing in your bellies. You cannot fight the darkness.
Batman always wins.
Okay, so this brings us to the final fight. This is basically just fighting all the mini bosses together and all their, all their mechanics and everything on top of each other. At the moment, it seems bugged. Not that there isn't a ton of bugs with all these raids anyway at the moment on test server, but Dawnbreaker, as you can see, he's just kind of chilling, not doing anything. He's supposed to be fighting throughout the fight. At the moment, he's just not doing anything. Eventually, see him start to drop his orbital strikes, like from the alert, that'll knock you up in the air with the bats. But he's supposed to be more active in the fight. That's just a bug, so kind of experience may vary. In terms of this fight, there's 3 main mechanics to watch for. Each mini boss will have their own separate mechanics that they bring in from like the alerts or like what the Drown does with the Chomp, what Red Death, Merciless does. All those are going to carry over. Like Merciless just tried to jump me because I put a spy drop down. That's going to be the same thing that he does in this current, like in False Idols. But the 3 main ones are, one, throughout the fight you're going to have this, like, you're going to see this text for Speed Force Corruption. It's going to say run to the person you're tethered to. What that is you have this arcing energy between 2 players. You have to run closer to them, or there's going to be this AoE explosion knockback that's going to just do like an explosion damage. And I think it's a knockback as well. The other mechanic you're about to see shortly here in a sec, when you kill one of the mini bosses, the rest heal. So Drown's about to die. Look at Merciless' health. He just jumped up like 60% in health. That's what happens each time, and then the Drown gets back up but a bit lower. So it's really, and you see now Dawnbreaker is kind of into the fight, and then the ad spawn. So it's going to be one of those like long drawn out fights where you're going to have to kill them multiple times. I don't know if there's a specific order to them. I mean, I've only done this the one time. This is my first impression. So we killed the Drown first. The Drown got back up. Everyone else healed. I don't know if they have the same health when they get back up, but it's one of those fights where just kind of you're going to repeat the same thing. Ads are going to spawn, keep going. So say move Speed Force Corruption away from your teammates. Same thing. So I'm running away, but you can stand in these rings of light that'll protect you from it. But at the same time, you're supposed to run to... oh, sorry. That's what it is. So I'm lied. There's a 4th one. The 4th mechanic. So that was... the Speed Force Corruption was a bit different. See, that was like that tornado that came around. So you could stand in there and be safe from it. Or you would have to run away. The tether is something different. And so the Speed Force Corruption hit me for 15k. And then Dawnbreaker's Spinning Punch. So I guess it got too close. Or no, it's the Dawnbreaker's got that... the chain from like Lhasa. But yeah, sorry, there's 4 mechanics. So there's the tether, there's the Speed Force Corruption energy. The 3rd one that I didn't get to, or the 3rd one was the healing. The 4th one that I didn't get to yet, there's this red arrow that's going to come on your head periodically throughout the fight. That slows players that are near you. So think of this like explosion, effects area safe zone compared to Nexus, where if you didn't see the Drown's not attacking now, she's just kind of chilling, doing nothing. So once again, why? Drown's just sitting there doing nothing. But yeah, think of it like Nexus, where it's a portal that protected you. Same thing. You just see, so run to whoever you're tethered to. The effects is pretty low on the tether, but if you fail it, that's what it is. We got hit for 57k, and it was a knockback. Elite, obviously, that's going to be very troubling. But that's what you do. You just run to the player that you're tethered to. That's going to happen multiple times. It's just a separate VFX that doesn't seem that obvious. That's why we keep proccing it. Because, I mean, I couldn't really see what was going on. I thought it was like that ring effect, so I was trying to stay in the safe zone. But that's something. It's a separate mechanic from that. See, now I got this red arrow on me. So if I was near someone else, they'd be slowed. I mean, that's all it is. So obviously you don't want to be standing near the tank. I don't believe it does any damage to me. I'm not seeing anything in the combat log. It's pulsing on me, but I'm not taking any damage. So I think you're slowed, and just the people near you are slowed. So if you have the red arrow, just don't be standing near like a healer or a tank or something, and you'll be fine. The main damage comes from that tether explosion, which is what we're failing, getting that knockback each time. But it's either you have to kill each boss twice. Like I know we killed the Merciless twice. Obviously the Drowned died and then got back up and did nothing. So in terms of that overall mechanic and having the ad spawn each time, I'm not entirely sure how that plays out. I'll know more, obviously, as it kind of progresses and things get fine-tuned, because, you know, I'm sure Dawnbreaker and Drowned and stuff, these sub-bosses aren't supposed to just, you know, revive and sit there and do nothing. So, you know, this fight may look a lot different compared to, you know, this weekend or something if they get a hotfix out for it. And then I'm hoping to bring you the elite footage as well. But in terms of the fight, it's a lot of stuff going on at once, which is nice. It's more for elite. Like in regular, nothing's really it's gonna annoy you in regular, but it's not gonna kill you in regular. In elite, obviously we've got like the tethering system, the speed force energy. We've got all the mini bosses attack. So obviously there's gonna be a lot in elite, hopefully at least. That it presents a lot of risk. Just like same thing with like false idols. There's a lot going on in false idols. They can lead to an easy death in elite. It's going to be the same kind of concept in this fight. So it's going to be a longer fight. Obviously, this fight is a lot longer than all the others because you have to kill. It's either there's going to be an order for the mini bosses you have to kill them so they don't revive, or in general you're supposed to just revive them each time. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work each time. We'll have to see how that plays out, or someone can mention it in the comment section, because obviously this is just kind of my first impression walkthrough, as I said before, so I haven't done this multiple times to have different tests, but I'm hopefully to get at least the elite testing done this weekend. So it should end here when we kill Red Death, because I don't think they got back up again. It's the same thing, you just separate the ads. So I would imagine elite you would need multiple tanks, separate the ads, you DPS the ads, go back to the bosses, and then you're worrying about the speed force energy the entire time, slowing other players with the red arrow, making sure that you're getting to the correct person with the tether, because obviously in regular if it hits for 57k it's going to be a lot harder in elite. But I mean overall there's nothing ground shaking like unique about these raids. There's nothing that says like, oh, these raids are amazing or a lot different, but at least there's something different, that's for sure. They have some different mechanics, and hopefully we'll play them. The card game for the Into the Dark Multiverse is really nice, so we'll let this rest of the cutscene play out here.
Is the end of all worlds.
I've opened a portal to the Dark Multiverse, but we need to hurry. Gather a team. This road may lead to darkness, but now it's on our turn.
And headline complete. So this is the first of two raids, because then we take that portal and then go to the second raid. But take care, guys. Thanks for watching.